I remember this day really well. My friend had killed this plant. He left it outside on his porch to the point where it had completely burned away the leaves, and I'd taken the plant and I was like, I'm gonna fix it. And for an entire winter, it sat outside, like on my front patio, and it was completely dead. I watered it. I would like care for it each week, but it was just very clear that it was not going well. Things were not going well for this plant. And in the spring, I was just about to throw it away. I was literally picking up the pot to take it back to the compost. And lo and behold, there was a single new leaf. And it was just this incredible moment. I can't really describe it. It was a Lazarus moment. We call the plant Lazarus, but it just was this moment where I was like, oh my God, if this plant can make it through this winter and come back, so can I. I spent so much of this year talking to myself, shooting video, trying to talk through these huge emotions I've been feeling, this big life transition I'm going through. And I think that there was something about seeing that plant come back. It was like the plant had been talking to itself for all winter long, pepping itself up to bring life back in. And I was just really inspired by this plant. I don't know how else to say it. It felt like an invitation to talk myself into a new phase, a new era.
So I'm in Carpinteria, which is a little beach town that's right near Santa Barbara. And I've just finished reading over a draft of my book that I've been working on for about, I guess, 4 months. I think I started in March. Today is the first day of July, and I finished it. I think there's no way of putting words to this experience. I'm gonna say all this so I remember, because maybe one day I'll have forgotten, but this is the second book I've written. My first book I wrote when I was in my MFA program. And it was a totally different story, and basically by the time I was querying it, I think I was maybe 24 or 25 when I first queried it, and it was one of those things where by the time I queried it, I knew it wasn't mine anymore. It had been so picked apart and influenced by other people. It didn't feel like mine, and there's no blame in that. At the end of the day, it's my responsibility, and it's any writer's responsibility to protect their vision for something. And I didn't do that with the last book. And that's what makes me so much more proud of this book, because this book is so me. It's not what I envisioned. It's something so much better. Okay, it's me. I want to say that the clips that came next are really rough, and I want to say that because I think my original urge when I was editing this video and editing all the footage was to just put the highlights in and be like, yeah, like, oh my god, I had this amazing day where I finished my manuscript, and then I had this amazing day where I got an agent, and those days were right next to each other. That's not true. There was so much heartache in between, and it was frankly like the hardest 6 weeks I've ever experienced. I had so much self-doubt. I was depressed. I felt so alone, even though I wasn't alone. I had a lot of people who cared about me. But it was a really bad time, and I have clips from then. I have videos. I showed them a little bit at the beginning of this video, like in an overlay. But I just don't think that I'm to a place where I can put them in a video. They are too raw, and when I look at myself, I can see how hollow I was and how much I had let my self-worth get tied up in this process. It's really hard not to, because as writers, like, we care about things a lot. We are like deeply emotional people, and we are especially emotional about our work. That's just what I found. At least I'll say that's true for me. I think I'm actually the most emotional in my work. And so having it go out into the world is this vulnerable thing, and I care about it more than I care about pretty much anything else in my life. So it was a really bad time. So I'd had like this moment of finishing my manuscript. It was euphoric. It was amazing. Like that clip that I showed, which again, I'm like hesitant to show all of it because I'm crying during it, and I just feel like that's like too much for me to show that online. As much as like other people are brave enough to do that, I don't feel like I'm there yet. But there was just like this absolute euphoria. Like that day I like finished my manuscript in the morning, sooner than I thought I was going to. I finished this revision, and then I went for a run and I ran into the ocean. I went for a swim, and it was this amazing moment because my book is deeply connected with the ocean, and it's one of my absolute favorite things in the world, if not my favorite thing in the world, to go for a run and then swim. So I had a high, and then I did not have a high for many weeks. I had the lowest lows. I could not eat. I wasn't hungry. I was sleeping like way more than I usually do. I had all the sort of classic depression signs. And I also had like amazing moments during this time. Like my mom came and stayed with me, and we went to Monterey. It was incredible. It was this beautiful time that I could not be fully present for, because 80% of my mind, if not more, was always wondering when I was going to hear back. So as soon as I finished the manuscript, I sent it out to agents. And I had sent it out already to agents before, a year before, and then I'd had a revision process that was really fulfilling but hard. And that's what you see at the end of that video, is I finished the revision. And waiting on the agents is so, I cannot describe it. Like if you haven't done it, you aren't gonna understand, but it's one of the only things in life where there's no deadline. Like an agent, you send basically a pitch to an agent, a literary agent, who then could possibly sell your book if they like it. But when you send the pitch, very few of them have any guarantee of when you'll hear back. Some of them are like, you may never hear back. Most of them are like that. And then a lot of it is like, you'll hear back sometime if I like it. So there's just such an ambiguity to it that I think is really uncomfortable for human beings, and something that we don't experience. Even if you're trying to get a job or something, you kind of know when you'll hear back, right? Like, you know, like, if I haven't heard back in a month, I probably didn't get the job, or there's some way to like logic your way through it. Agenting is not like that. I cannot express that enough. I had agents who had asked for my manuscript in summer, read it, and didn't tell me till a year later that they liked it and wanted to see more. So it's this impossible timeline, and I think that there are like many fair criticisms of the publishing industry for that reason, but I'm not really interested in that. I'm interested in how it affects me, because I think that it was like such a mental health test, and I failed the mental health test, to be honest. I did my best, but I kind of failed myself in the end. Like, I was so low. And I know that I would have, if things had gone differently and I hadn't gotten an agent, I would have gotten myself out of it somehow. I would have picked myself up and written another book and done this again. I know I would have, because I love to write and I was born to do this. But I'm really glad I didn't have to do that, because like, I don't know how, it would have taken me a long time to recover from that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it makes me scared to think about it. And it makes me scared because now that I have an agent, which I'm going to show you a clip of that in a minute, because that was amazing. I'm not going to I think that is not an underrated experience. Getting an agent, it was the best moment in my life, if I'm being honest. Like, it might have been the best moment I've ever had. But even once you have an agent, you have to submit the book to publishing houses, and that has a high rate of failure as well. So, or I shouldn't say failure, I should say rejection. It has a high rate of rejection, which is something I'm gonna have to cope with that if it comes. I have to be strong enough in myself when that comes. and I love this manuscript, and I have to believe that this all happened for a reason, not in that it was preordained or something like that, but just that like I needed to write this book, and if I hadn't written it, I wouldn't be who I am, and I like who I am. I love who I am, and this book has so much in it that is just so me. It's like, so like I said in the last clip, it's so amazing. I go back and read it and I'm like, I can't believe I wrote this. This is awesome. And maybe that sounds a little like, I actually don't even need to say that it sounds cocky. Like, I just don't think it is. I don't think it's cocky to like what you created. Okay, I think that I've babbled like quite a lot in this bit. I just didn't want it to seem like there was just like this part of the video where I was like, oh my god, like I wrote a book and then I got an agent and the end. No, it was not like that. It was terrible. I'm just not ready to show you the clips of it being terrible. Like, I'm not ready for that to be on the internet. Okay, all right. Now we'll go back to the highlight reel. I am going to sign my literary agent representation contract. That just doesn't seem like the right thing to call it. My literary management contract? Anyway, I'm gonna sign it right now on camera. It's not the best, but it's not the worst signature I've ever done. It's done. I have literary agent. Just like that. Just like that after a year and a half of work.